This coverage is brought to you by Rami Rent. Hello and welcome to the back nine coverage of round 2 of the Järva Open, presented by Prodigy Disc. This is the second stop on the European Pro Tour. This event is also brought to you by Zuka. Discounter coverage brought to you by Rami Rent. I'm your host, Nate Perkins, and I'm joined here with Team Discmania's rising star, Ella Hansen.
Thanks, Nate. I'm excited. We've had a good front nine, tight race for the lead.
Yeah, very tight.
2 players tied at +1. No bogeys yet for Kristin Tattar. Big difference from her first round. Excited to see what she's going to do on the back nine.
And we've got 4 different countries represented here on this lead card, playing at one of the most beautiful disc golf courses that you will ever experience. Hole 10, it's a par 3, 101 meters. Curving back around and to the left up this hill. Very tricky hole to park.
Yes. Yes, it is a tricky hole to park. Kristin playing it out high. That
What a
is not
shot.
quite parked, but it is a great shot.
What a line. Takes next level power to push it 100 meters, throwing it that high.
Yeah, on hyzer. Yeah, she's got that power for sure. Sofie going a little early. So Kristin will be looking to take the lead back from Sofie. Silva playing out wide. She also has a great amount of power and getting up to the bottom of the hill right about 10 meters. Very different approach from Anniken than the other players. Playing that wide backhand hyzer, or lefty hyzer.
And this approach is tricky. You kind of have to make that decision if you're going to try and split those trees or if you're going to throw a little soft hyzer around them. And there are the 2 different routes right there. And well played from
shot.
both.
Yep.
Playing golf. Everyone on this card knows how to play some golf. Sometimes you just see some raw talent. You see some some big shots and some big putts. But this card has it all.
Great bid from Silva.
What?
Sneaking it in that low left side.
Just high enough into the headwind, climbs up and over the rim.
That's one of the toughest putts you can be facing in disc golf. Uphill headwind.
Yeah.
But especially on the top of this ridge, if you miss the basket altogether, you are looking at a long comebacker most likely. So Sofie ended up taking a 4, so Kristin taking a 2-stroke swing, getting herself back to even par, and a 2-stroke lead. We've got hole 11, par 3, 145 meters, big turning left to right shot, hitting that initial gap in the trees and coming out into the open. Tough to get a wind read on this one. We'll see some turnover backhands and some forehands. Kristin with a Nice forehand, putting it out wide. Not a great roll.
Good checkup. I mean, it wasn't great, but it could have rolled much further.
Yeah. She's out in the open. She should have a short approach. Sofie playing the turnover, but she didn't like it. Ends up flexing out.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be 60, 70 meters left.
Yeah, not the worst mistake. You don't get punished too much from not getting that turnover all the way over on this hole, but surely not what she was hoping for.
Oh, look at this ride.
Silva. Wow.
What?
Wow.
Is she inside the circle?
I think so.
What a shot.
Wow. And that wind, it looked like that was kind of going to nose dive into the ground, but great angle control, using the wind to get up inside the circle. And this hole plays very well to Anniken's game, just playing a nice hyzer backhand out through the gap.
I love learning about these European players before anyone else covering this tournament.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying watching all these players. I hope I can get to play with them someday. Solid approach from both Kristin and Sofie.
It'd be cool to hear if they're saying the same thing about you, Ella. Like, wow, Ella throws so far. I want to play with her someday.
Wow.
Oh, and this is for birdie on a 145-meter hole. Oh, no. We all wanted it.
That was tough.
For you, Silva.
And it looked like she had a little bit of headwind when she was lining up her putt. May have dropped the wind a little when she went to putt, so it's hard to commit to that headwind putt.
Pretty memorable drive, though.
Absolutely.
I mean, perfect angle, just rode the wind, got back to flat.
And you're not unhappy about a par on this hole. But I can't imagine too many other players in the field are getting even close to the circle on this one. Wow. Strong gusts coming in for Anniken's putt.
Ooh, she fires it in there.
Good aggression. Sometimes you just gotta putt hard at the basket. So it ends up being pars for hole card.
All right, hole 12. Par 4, 214 meters. Throwing across this exposed valley here. Going to be pretty windy. Headed down the hill. Another protected green. The more distance you bite off, the closer to the center of this fairway that you have to be. If you bomb one and get it off to the right, you're going to have a pretty tricky approach. And
looks like a pretty strong headwind.
Yeah, is it headwind? That's kind of what I'm seeing as well. We're going to see. Oh, and she...
Oh, yeah, that's a headwind, all right.
She trusted it a little too much. And, yeah, she is going to find the out of bounds over there on that right side. That's really...
She went early. That's going to be a tough up and down for her. Sofie playing a bit more of a straighter shot.
That's such a big difference. The nose angle, just when the wind picks up, I mean, you hit it flat like Kristin did, and the wind just takes it. If you hit it hyzer, nose up, like Sofie just did, the wind kind of just stalls it out. It doesn't go anywhere, but, you know, it's a safe conservative.
Absolutely. And Anniken throwing a forehand. We haven't seen a lot of those out of her.
Not off the tee, at least.
Yeah.
She's been pretty crafty on those approaches, but I believe she's just playing it safe. I mean, she does not want to throw that lefty backhand into that wind.
And that's a little flipped over. That was maybe a good tree for Silva. Carrying down towards the bottom of that valley. And we're seeing pretty much all of these shots turning over, I think, more than these players are hoping for. And Sofie again playing that high nose up stalling hyzer. Oh, okay.
Yeah, good little reaction off that bush.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a pretty crafty shot. It comes up a little short, but she gives herself a look.
Yeah, hitting the gap at least. Giving herself an opportunity to make a putt. Kristin, a little early, but good drop out to stay also in the gap.
It seems to be a common result right there in the gap.
And this looks open, but it is a tough approach. Well executed for Sofie.
All right. Middle of circle 2.
Oh,
Floats it up there in the wind.
that looked like it had a chance. Just dropped right in the last quarter of the flight. So I think that's going to be at least maybe a double bogey for Kristin. So. And Sofie is pretty close to parked for par.
Wow.
Great putt.
I mean, the display of putting from this young Norwegian talent. Anniken Steen. So impressive.
And great consistency. It's always fun to see people who make their putts and smile after. She's happy with every great putt, as she should be. But
kind of reminds me of Missy.
Yeah.
It's like bashful after she nails like a 60-footer.
Absolutely. We got hole number 13, par 4, 229 meters. This is a tough birdie.
Yeah.
Just flying over where the fairway pinches off and then widens out again, only to narrow back up by the basket. We got out of bounds left and right. This is the second most difficult hole on the day.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Ton of OB, and with it being as windy as it is. And we've got a couple players on the card who kind of like to throw flippy. You know, Anniken and Sofie are a little bit more of like a, you know, they throw understable plastic, and they're at a bit of a disadvantage when it's this windy because, you know, they're using the understability of the disc to cover ground, but in the wind, that's just
less reliable.
Unless you're in a direct tailwind, it's just not consistent. Players that can really get a stable disc up to speed just have such a big advantage on holes like these.
Mm-hmm. We saw Sofie and Anniken throwing up high, giving that understable plastic a chance to hyzer out. And Silva and Kristin going for more of the low line drive. And Silva just trying to cross that pinch point on the green, on the fairway, but not quite far enough. Solid play for Kristin.
Yeah. Very nice shot from Sofie.
Smooth. Leaving herself with a relatively short approach for this hole. Anniken playing that high hyzer again, executing it well. So that pinch point almost sort of plays as a river, but it's one of those things that you think you're not going to get in there, but you do somehow.
Yeah, just one little pocket of OB.
Yeah. Try not to think about it, but
They always seem to be like a magnet. Oh, kind of pushes deep on that forehand. That tailwind just carried that one.
yeah, kept it in the air.
What a beautiful day in Järva, though.
Absolutely.
Järva is just outside of Stockholm, Sweden. Have yet to make the trip.
It's a kind of course that everybody's heard of it.
And a tough hole for Silva
Yeah.
after playing some pretty clean golf.
Kristin trying to make a
Was that for
long
par?
comeback. I believe that was her par
What a
putt.
difficult hole. I mean, even in the tailwind, just brutal.
You can see, yeah, Anniken putting almost into a cross headwind. So 5 for Anniken.
5 plays. 5 is
It
not a
does.
bad number here on
Yeah,
the
this
13th.
averaged a stroke and a half over par.
Wow. So, getting half a stroke on the field, and Silva, unfortunately, taking the triple bogey. It's going to move her to 10 over.
But Sofie carding the par. And grabbing another quick stroke on Kristin. A lot of movement here in the past couple holes.
Do I have what it takes? I have the dedication. I have the right equipment. I have the fire. Zuka. Disc golf carts for a better game.
All right. Hole 14, par 4, 253 meters. Another really difficult hole. I believe everyone in this lead card is going to be throwing short of that river of out of bounds. Then playing a second up to the pinch. And there's just OB everywhere on this one, left and right. I believe we just played into a tailwind, so we're going to have a bit of a right to left wind here. You can kind of see it get underneath Sofie's disc, but she's in a great spot. You want to push it as close to that river as possible because you really want to cover ground on this really long par 4.
It's a really long par 4. This is definitely, the last hole is, you got a chance if you got some distance for FPO, but 253 meters is a long way to go for in 2 shots. So I think pretty much everyone in this card will be happy to get a par.
So the last one was playing as the second most difficult, and 14 is playing as the first most difficult hole.
Okay. Got a tough stretch here. Good shot from Kristin. Getting close to the river, but staying safe.
Okay, I was kind of thinking that Silva might try and prove me wrong here, but she's taking a mid. She's throwing it hard and playing short of this OB river.
Yeah, that's a smart play.
I believe she does have the power to get across if she was feeling it.
Yeah, and if she's me, that's, and she gets a triple bogey, I have the instinct to try to, prove my strength on the next hole. So that shows some good poise to just stick to the game plan and not try to out throw your your poor hole from before.
Yeah, exactly. That's even after a triple bogey, she still shows that poise.
Absolutely.
For such a young golfer, it's impressive.
Couple solid shots. Just biting off some more distance, staying in the fairway.
Oh, she needs that to hyzer.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty far down there.
Yeah.
Good rip from Kristin. Looks like a little nose up for Anniken. But a good kick back into the middle of the fairway. And this is like a tough approach. I mean, obviously it's the hardest hole on the course, but
doesn't give it life right there. She kind of had the awkward stance with the tree.
Wow, good shot from Kristin.
Nice. Kind of the tougher shape of the two from a little backhand approach, but she's kind of been leaning on that harp from that distance.
Mm-hmm. Anniken just pitching up. Playing smart golf.
Wow, plenty of pace on that nearly 30-meter putt. Yep.
Great putt from Kristin.
Right over the rim. In the heart.
That was actually the only par of the day for the field.
Kristin's par right there?
Yep.
Wow.
Tough stretch for Silva.
Single, triple, double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that on their
That's
scorecard.
tough.
Yeah, these par 4s on this back 9 are very tough. Got hole 15, par 4 again, 188 meters. Big curling fairway from the right to the left, making about 3 U-turns throughout the course of this fairway.
This is such a cool hole.
Yeah, it is an awesome hole. And there's a way to get over the top and cut off some of that distance.
Yeah. And depending on where this drive is, you can try to cheat the gap. We saw Kristin in a very similar spot yesterday, and she tried to kind of cheat that corner. And then, of course, at this point, we've all seen Nicholas Antila's throw-in where he cheated the corner and found the bottom of the basket for an eagle 2. Still in disbelief on that one.
Yeah. And Anniken had some beautiful turnovers on this hole yesterday. See if she can execute again.
I would kind of love to see the lefty roller on this one.
Yeah.
That has potential to get up and around the corner.
Absolutely. Looks good. Just catching the last tree.
Yeah, so here's where you have to make your decision. Are you going to try and cut it, or are you going to pitch it forward and give yourself an angle on your third shot?
Anniken playing the wide approach. Sofie looking high into the air. Oh, maybe not. Maybe she just appreciating the trees. But
Yeah, no, I was with you. It looked like she was going high hyzer and throws an excellent low shot. She is so close to where she was yesterday.
yeah, just playing the same kind of shot, throwing a forehand, and I think almost the exact same result.
Really
catching
similar.
A little bit of bush at the end, but out into the fairway.
Don't speak Estonian, but I think she might have been saying same as yesterday.
Good shot from Silva, cutting the corner a tiny bit, putting herself looking at the basket. Anniken catching a bit of high cabbage.
I really like the powder blue baskets in the green grass.
They look nice.
They pop pretty nice.
They look real nice. So we just had the 2 most difficult holes. This is actually the 3rd most difficult hole.
Is it really? That is brutal.
So a really tough stretch here.
All in sequence.
Yep.
13, 14, 15. Wow.
Good approach from Sofie.
Settle.
Scaring the basket a little. Bit of an obstructed look, but probably around 7 or 8 meters. Solid pitch up for Anniken, for leaving herself a short putt for bogey. Kristin giving that a bid.
Yeah.
Kristin with a bogey. Sofie taking the only par of the field.
Oh, she's got a 2-stroke lead now.
Yeah. Playing really solid on this back 9.
And Silva was playing so well and then hit this stretch of holes, and she has fallen
tough.
12 back of the pace.
Wow.
right, hole 16, another par 4, 194 meters. We've got OB all along this right side. Another one with a very specific landing zone. You want to push this one far and end up as close to that OB as possible. It kind of opens up the angle. Anything left, and you're going to have to try and throw a super steep hyzer over that guardian group of trees. Pretty decent spot. She's going to have that kind of intermediate high hyzer. I believe Kristin is stabling up here to avoid that OB on the right side. Yeah, it's a good spot.
Yep. Biting off a lot of distance.
Well thrown. That's one of the further drives we've seen from her.
Oh, just flipping over. Bit of a tough stretch for Silva, and like I said earlier, you know, when you have some tough holes, it can be really tempting to try to just power your shots, and it doesn't always work too well, especially in the wind.
All right, Sofie looking high here. Oh, she starts it out with some Annie even. Will it hyzer? It's a good shot.
Yeah.
How's this one ranking, Ella?
This was,
What's the difficulty on
I believe, the
16?
sixth most difficult hole. So
okay, yeah, this back
you know.
nine is really the meat of the course.
yeah, the meat of the course and a really difficult stretch.
All right, Kristin is pretty much in a perfect position. Does it beat the edge? Oh, just gets chewed up. Man. Yeah, it's a fine line between getting around that tree and pushing that back wall.
Absolutely. Especially in the wind, it just brings in such more variables, and really tough for Silva. Trying to go high in front of those trees and catching early.
Oh, you got to feel for her a little bit. It's kind of a nightmare back nine.
Yeah.
After playing some good golf round one to get herself in contention and on this lead card, and then playing well on the front of this second round.
Yeah, it's a tough place to be. Kristin giving that a bid. Safe bid, but a bid nonetheless. Sofie grabbing a par. Super solid back nine. I mean, these are some really tough holes. We see a lot of color on Kristin, Silva, and Anniken's scorecards.
Yeah.
But Sofie only with the one bogey and pars on all the other holes.
Yeah, she's shown that she knows how to play some golf. And it's not like she's just playing everything conservative.
No.
You know, these holes are just really tough for the field.
Absolutely. So.
Some of those you could even argue that they would be, par fives.
Absolutely, yeah. I think a couple of them definitely could be. Oh, Another double for Silva. We got hole 17. Bit of a breather here.
Yeah. You can actually see the
holes.
pin. No OB.
Only 94 meters. Fence on the left. Some deep rough on the right. And OB on the right as well.
Oh, just a little too high out of the hand. Catches the first tree in the gap. Oh, and Sofie, she now has a 3-stroke lead over Kristin.
Yeah. And some of those, it says par on the scorecard, but like you were saying, that definitely has got to feel like a birdie in some of those holes.
Oh, that's headed for the gap, Ella. Does she find it?
I think.
Yeah, it shows
close.
the pin. Okay, all right.
Somewhere in
Inside
circle two.
2.
Yeah.
Kristin going forehand.
Oh, that looks a little too high. Yeah, similar spot to where she was yesterday.
Yeah, she might have a putt right there, though.
Yeah. Little nose up from Silva, but pushes through the ceiling. Solid approach. And it looked like after that front nine that Kristin was kind of on a tear and was going to take this lead back from Sofie, but Sofie is hanging in there.
Yeah, we've definitely got a battle, and I mean, Anniken's, she's just 3 back of Kristin.
Yeah. Giving that a run for the birdie. That's a relief, getting first par after a string of tough holes. Pars for the whole card.
All right, here we are, final hole of round 2. It's a par 4, 194 meters. We're headed up this steep hill. Basket protected by these trees. Got a low ceiling access to this green.
Get a little bit of relief on 17 with the par 3, but this one, like the last few holes, this is the fourth most difficult. So
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to climb this hill. And another one here at Järva, kind of fit in the theme where if you get that angle wrong, you can just fly way down the hill. Or if you get it too wrong the other direction, you can kind of cut roll back down the hill.
Anniken trying to correct on her previous throw on a hole with this angle.
Yeah.
Looks good. Bit more forgiving on this one, but she'll be happy to be in with a flat run up down there. She can just miss that tree. Okay. That's some solid distance. Good pull from Silva.
right. She's a little out of position here on this left side, having to go a little bit more hyzer than she'd like to, but well thrown. She's in a position to get up and down. And Anniken is looking for some redemption on this hole from yesterday. She's in a pretty good spot here.
Giving it some good turn. That looks great.
Yeah. Really nice angle. Very controlled young golfer.
And that's a tough spot to be in, throwing up the hill, but trying to make sure you turn it over enough so that it doesn't hyzer out down the hill and not too much that it doesn't cut roll.
Yeah.
Kristin blasting it way down the fairway.
Wow, again.
She's
giving
giving
herself a look.
Yeah, giving herself a putt from down there. Great upshot.
Beautiful turnover shot up the hill. Just matches the angle of that hill. What a stroke.
Anniken with the quick shift.
Yeah,
was
she
lining
did.
up the backhand and switched to the forehand.
She did change that one up quick. Man, green grass fairways in the woods, it's really rare.
Yeah. And it doesn't get much better than that,
Yeah.
too. It's just so beautiful.
For birdie. Oh. A little bit of left to right wind on that. Just okay, a little bit longer of a putt than it looked. It's got a good tailwind.
Catching the chains, but she should have a 5, so getting a little bit of redemption on the first day.
Oh, and it's in for par. Look at her. She's going to have a 3-stroke lead.
Yeah,
heading into the final round of this European Pro Tour.
She's got to be feeling real good about herself, but you can never be safe with the number 1 rated player in the world breathing down your neck.
And Kristin just has so much experience in these situations as well. It's going to be a treat to watch them battle. Want to thank you guys for joining Ella and I on this journey through round 2 here at Järva. Got to thank the European Pro Tour for having us on. Hit that like button and subscribe to the Disc Golf stream. They're doing some really cool things over in Europe. Going to be taking a look at the leaderboard. Ella, what do we got?
Sofie with another solid round. Only 2 bogeys, 1 birdie, but staying very consistent, especially on that really difficult back 9. Putting herself with a 3-stroke lead. Tomorrow we're going to see Sofie, Kristin, Anniken, and a new player to this lead card, Jenny. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It's going to be a tough battle.
Yeah, thanks again for joining us, guys, and we will see you for the conclusion of the second stop on the European Pro Tour here at the Järva Open.